Today's video, guys, anxiety. Most people around the world at some point in their life will suffer with anxiety, and I certainly did for quite a few years, and I still do to some extent, but I've learned how to deal with my anxieties, and hence why I've made this video. So I've chosen two pictures for this video, one where I'm in pretty good shape. It's the best I've been mentally and physically, and the other picture is the lowest of the low. I was suffering with food poisoning at the time. I was actually in a hospital bed. I was going through a really tough time. I was suffering with anxiety and depression. So it's the contrast between the two pictures. These are taken 2 years apart. Now, looking back at the picture where I'm not looking so well, I really didn't understand the effects that anxiety can have on your body. And that's just not mentally, that's physically. I was suffering with muscle twitches where my muscles would just twitch for no reason. I was suffering with headaches. My digestive system wasn't working properly. So I was having all these physical effects that I thought at the time were actual real diseases or illnesses, but in fact it was just my mind. It was just the anxiety playing tricks on me. So for a lot of people out there who think anxiety is just of the mind, it's not. It's very physical as well. It can cause some very distressing symptoms, and they can feel very real. So if you are out there and you are experiencing any of these symptoms, I've experienced them myself. Like I said, muscle twitches, headaches, digestive system problems, weakness. These are very real symptoms. Now I want to switch over to the picture where I'm looking physically a lot better and I'm in a much better place. Now, what's changed? To be honest with you, the symptoms that I got back then, I still get now. I still get muscle twitches when I'm anxious, but there is a difference. Beforehand, I used to get a muscle twitch and I'd want to call the doctor. I'd be straight away thinking of the worst. I'd be Googling the symptoms of these diseases associated with muscle twitches. But now I kind of understand, look, this is me that's anxious. I've had this before. There's no underlying health condition. This is just how my body reacts to stress and anxiety. So what else has changed for me? And a big one is learning from previous experiences. I mention it in most of my videos. Drinking, for myself, never agreed with me. It used to cause lows, periods of highs, and my anxiety could go through the roof. So now I very rarely drink because I know that it's going to cause my mental health to decline. And probably the most important point, challenging negative thoughts and emotions. Things that used to come in before, a thought would come in and it would cause me to spiral. I'm now able to say, look, is that fact or fiction? Have I experienced this thought before? And then break it down into manageable steps to move forward. So I'm going to share a scenario or an event with you that I managed to challenge a negative emotion or thought, and it actually worked in my favour. So about a year ago, I went for an interview at Nuffield Health, and they run an assessment day for PTs to turn up. You're put through a series of assessments, and then out of 14-15 guys, one of you will get the job. A particular part of this assessment is when you have to run a group session for the other PTs in the group on the main floor of the gym whilst everyone is watching. Now, being an introvert, doing this for example, I'd never dream of speaking to a camera. Standing up in front of 50-60 people, running the group session, coaching people, shouting at people is not my bag. So my anxiety went through the roof, and the fight or flight kicked in, and everything within my mind was telling me to leave Nuffield Health, leave the assessment day and try find an easier option. However, learning from previous experiences where I'd always use the flight, as in run away from a particular scenario for an easier option, I challenged those negative emotions and thoughts. I said to myself, I'm here for a reason. I don't know anyone here. Judgment really is not going to matter too much. Stand up, give it your all, and see what happens. So in that split second, I went from very timid to very confident. I stood up in front of the group. I organised it well. I was coaching people. I was having a laugh, and the anxiety just drifted away. I was in a kind of zone in my own bubble. Things around me didn't matter, and if you can, what I'm trying to get at is, if you can, in that moment where you really do feel like enough's enough, I need to escape, if you can just challenge it, you'll find that once you get over that kind of hurdle, there's like a brighter day. So anyway, to cut a long story short, out of the 15 guys that turned up for the assessment day, I actually got the job through determination, really. It wasn't through experience. There was guys there with a lot more experience than me. But yeah, I just pushed on and quietened the noise and did what I had to do to get the job. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm completely cured of anxiety. I still get a lot of anxious thoughts. I'm just able to manage them a little bit better than I would have done before. So for those of us who do suffer with anxiety, I think another big thing is if you do give in to them anxious thoughts and you do spiral, don't beat yourself up over it. Just the next time them thoughts come in, just think, oh look, this caused me to spiral. How can I challenge them in the future? Learning from previous experiences, like I say all the time, it is really the biggest cure. So there's a little bit of an insight into my anxiety and how I'm managing it. I want these videos to be relatable. I've mentioned some of the physical symptoms that I experienced. I want people to be able to say, oh yeah, I've experienced that. And then look at this video and realise they're not the only person that experiences that particular symptom. The aim of this channel really is just to kind of show you that you shouldn't suffer in silence. I'm not worried about telling people my problems and telling people, you know, things that have happened to me, because I'm not ashamed of it. I used to be ashamed of it, but I'm not anymore. So you should always reach out to other people, speak up, and just don't worry about people's opinions. Just if you are struggling, look, say to someone, I'm struggling. It really doesn't matter. Yes, there is going to be some fitness videos, some gym related stuff, but there's going to be a lot of videos like this, me just talking to a camera, just trying to get my kind of experiences across to you, and hopefully that, like I've said, hopefully you can relate to them. So getting towards the end of the video now, one last thing, I've had a few people kind of reaching out to me after watching a couple of my YouTube videos and just said like, I didn't realise you were struggling, I'm struggling as well. Just had a nice chat with them, so yeah, don't ever worry about dropping me a message if you want to chat. I'm certainly not a doctor. I think I've got a first aid at work, St John's ambulance certificate, so that's as far as my medical kind of background goes. But no, like I said, just give us a call, give us a message, and I'm always happy to kind of chat through problems or just share our experiences. So anyway, like I said, brings me nicely to the end of the video. If you did like the video, then please give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much.